Welcome back, movie fans, from the movie family. We are going to do a review of the movie Soul that's now on DisneyPlus. And we're going to give you our quick thoughts on it, if we recommend it, and some of our grades and basic opinions about it. But hopefully do it pretty quick so you get the sense of whether or not we like it or not. The movie Soul came out this year at Christmas time, or actually not this year anymore, last year, 2020, at Christmas. On DisneyPlus. So if you're a subscriber to that, you can get it for free. And it is about, let's see, what would we say it's about? It's a story about a guy that's trying to figure out his meaning in life.
Passion and
guy
purpose.
who
That's a
dies.
He gets like
tries to come back.
He's a jazz player and like he dies at a bad moment, so he's trying to regain his life. Yeah. And along the way, he starts to like kind of piece it together, like figure out more about his life.
The meaning, the purpose and meanings of life.
If there is a meaning.
Yeah. So anyways, that's kind of the basic idea. Would you guys say, now this is the typical question, but would say, if it was in a theater, would you recommend people see it in the theater? Would you recommend people just stream it or miss it altogether?
I'd see it in the theater, but I think it's even better that you could see it streaming.
Yeah, I think it came out on DisneyPlus, and like Mandalorian was just out, so people would probably have it. I'd say in theaters it's like worth viewing, but you might do that with a younger audience. I feel like if you have the time at home, just go and watch it because it's a really good movie.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I felt like it's worth seeing in the theater, but I think I might have had a hard time being convinced to see it in the theater because when I tried to see what it was about, I didn't have a good idea of what it was about, and I still can't really explain very well what it was about. Yeah. So it didn't hook me I need to go see that, but I thought that it was really good.
Yeah, I felt the marketing was definitely not great. Like going into this, I knew nothing about the movie really, but I'd say I would see it in theaters. But once again, it's just hard to explain that. I mean, it's a Pixar movie, so of course it's going to be visually amazing, but there wasn't anything specifically that felt like I needed to see this on the big screen instead of just at home. Yeah,
but marketing, the latest thing I've seen is just the McDonald's ad they're doing, and it's they're just really not getting it out there, because it's a really good, profound movie, but they're not advertising it.
I think it's a difficult one to explain and probably advertise too. I would definitely see it on streaming. I would, if you don't have Disney Plus, I don't know if you can get it just for this, but I think it's a good enough movie that there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of other things on Disney Plus that I think are good, and so therefore I think this would be also a good original. Yes, you should watch it if you have Disney Plus. Watch it.
And if you don't have Disney Plus, consider getting Disney Plus just because.
And we're not sponsored by Disney Plus. If you're
watching,
if you'd like to,
if you're watching.
And then what was I gonna say about in theaters? Again, if it was in theaters, I'm not sure I would go either, just because I didn't know enough about it.
Yeah, I'd
but
say
now knowing what I do know, I would recommend people if I would have known what it was really about and how good it was, I would have said, "Oh yeah, totally go see it in theaters. It's worth it."
Yeah. Like, if a friend recommended it and was like, yeah, it's really good, then you go see it, because it is really good, but you just don't get that from anything they do.
So, what your recommendation then? Why? What do you recommend people do like it?
I'd say it's entertaining. It's got that kind of, it's cartoony, but, it still has some, funny humor that you can get, when you're older. It's a fun movie, and it's also kind of a little philosophical, but it's not too hard with the message. It's good. It balances stuff well. It's fun.
I think the animation is really good. There are different styles of it, and it just goes that changes a lot, and it's really cool, and there's a lot of skill in that. And the characters too are pretty interesting, in their journeys, but also they're kind of funny from the beginning with that. And that's
I agree with that. I think it was like all the Pixar movies and Disney movies, it's really well done. I thought the characters were compelling, gave me the feels. It was interesting. It was funny. And it had a message in it, but it wasn't ham-fisted. It wasn't oh, we're just going to hit you over the head with this idea of what we're trying to get across. It was more of a hey, here's the overall idea of life and death kind of stuff.
Also, the focus on this man's like passion for music is interesting. Like, I think that was
But it's not just like a
pretty good.
music-based movie.
no,
there's
but
like
it
music
shows
in
like
it, yeah, but
he is that's his thing.
yeah.
And so when it's focused on him, it's definitely a lot about that.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
That's true. That is
Promotion
cool.
of art.
Different.
I thought it was really good. I mean, it's a Pixar movie, so it's, beautifully animated, and it's humorous, and it's heartfelt.
That about describes Pixar.
Yeah,
Heartfelt,
basically, for me, basically everything that they said, yeah. And also one big thing that I thought it was very, very heartfelt, but it was also hilarious, which is something that Disney doesn't. Disney.
It's hard to get that balance.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
for me especially, I don't like what Disney does with adding comedy into something that's serious because they want the
Yeah.
jokes and stuff. So that annoys me. And I thought this was done perfectly, where it's very funny, but also allows for very serious and very deep moments that
'Cause when-
they both
yeah.
work really,
Because when
really
it gets
well.
to the deep moments, it doesn't try and throw comedy at
Yeah,
you
it doesn't
after that.
undercut
It has
it.
comedy throughout until you get to that really profound moment, and then once you kind of go out of that more, there is still comedy, but like it's
Yeah.
it
well
knows
balanced.
when
I
to
think
be
it would
these
do that
things.
a few times.
It's
I
got
can't remember when
sections.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it doesn't undercut it a lot though. It doesn't like just be like, oh, we're just throwing out a joke here for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
And I
it's
think
good that way.
for the most, I think almost all the jokes land too.
Yeah.
It's something that Pixar movies generally do, but like, yeah, it's just. I'm glad that they all landed. There weren't any jokes that were just kind of like awkward or anything. Where it's
Like Ryan's dad jokes.
Yeah, like any jokes that Ryan says and stuff. It's like
They weren't like that.
There were also
I
some
mean-
like visual gags and just things that were
It's
interesting.
Yeah.
very much
Visual
felt
guys,
to me
yeah.
like the feel of Inside Out.
Yeah, it's
You know,
very
there's a
inside out.
Inside Out.
I enjoyed it more than Inside Out.
I also
would
think
say
it's
that now,
funnier
yeah.
than Inside Out, and
Yeah.
and even the characters I like better.
Inside Out
was good,
overall,
but
Inside
it was a
Out.
lot
Right.
more wholesome. Inside Out was very wholesome as well. But I feel
Yeah.
like overall there was a lot less sadness and a
Yeah.
lot more cheeriness.
True.
With still a lot of those insights into. Yeah, I
True.
don't know.
More
I don't know how to
meaningful
describe
things.
it.
you're right. Yeah,
it
like
was
they
about passion and not just like loss.
Right.
And stuff.
didn't. Yeah, they didn't need to like kill Bing Bong.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Yeah, no.
They make
Spoilers
everybody.
for
They make everybody
Inside
sad.
Yeah,
If you haven't
you
seen
haven't seen
Inside
the movie
Out,
from like
you
5
haven't
years
seen it,
ago.
and then don't. Yeah, because Bing Bong, it's so super sad.
Yeah. Also, one thing that I did really like was there were some scenes that, and this shocked me because once again, Disney and Pixar don't usually, or no, especially Disney doesn't do this, where they like to explain things a lot more than just show it. And there were some sequences that where it was just, I think, like a minute or something of just your interpretation. They didn't explain it. They didn't say anything about it. You're just left to interpret it. And I really appreciated seeing that in a movie that it is, meant for kids, I guess.
I don't know what
but
scene
it's
you're
not meant for
talking
kids.
about.
Because Pixar, I think like all Pixar movies, it's like as a kid you can see it and enjoy it, and then when you see it like 10 years later, you're like you start to get more of what it was about and not just like
That's
And
the,
it's
face value.
And the subject overall, I mean, you're talking about it, this is not spoiler, but again, the guy dies, and so you're talking about life and death, and the afterlife and all that kind of stuff, which can be really deep and like sad and like super.
But they do it in a
difficult and
fun way.
complicated.
Yeah.
Never actually dies though, right? Like he's
no.
shown in a coma.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's kind
But
of an
like
iffy.
really that
It's
you know.
it's iffy thing I think in the beginning, which is kind
That
of the
whole-
Yeah.
area,
it's all after
non-life.
non-life thing,
Yeah, non-life.
which is
I
hard to
Yeah,
explain
I think
or to talk
they
about.
did it in the trailer. It's like he dies, but then he kind of cheats a little bit, and so now he's like before you live. So he's trying to
moving
get
around
yeah,
in that
yeah.
realm.
He's
In
trying to
between.
Trying to find a
escape
way
from
out.
escape from going to death by going through.
Yeah.
It
Star's
switches
life.
locations
Yeah.
plenty of times.
But it's really good and funny. But they do it a good way, which obviously it's hard to do. So in Parental Guidance, I think, again, besides the fact that it's about death, which if you have really little ones, like preschoolers, it may be
Yeah.
a little difficult for them to follow and figure out what's going on with the soul and things like that. I think that might be a little bit heady for them.
No one gets murdered, right?
No one gets murdered.
Don't think so.
No, I don't think there's any real violence in it at all. It's like all, yeah. I mean, they discuss what happens to him, but it doesn't. Nothing. Yeah, nothing's really that bad. They don't think there's any swearing. There's nothing in it, so it's pretty much like. I think
Is
the
it a
Parental
G or
Guidance.
PG? PG.
I think it's PG, and pretty much because you've got to be able to make sure they understand what's going on, and that the death subject can be difficult to understand. So I think that's it's a good wholesome movie.
Yeah.
And then in final grades. So what grades, again, going on a grading scale, like school, what would you guys, grade it? Final grade. Tommy?
A+.
I'd give it an A.
Yeah, no, I give it an A.
An A?
Yeah, just because it doesn't apply to it doesn't go around everyone, so I can't give it an A+. But it's a really good movie.
A.
Yeah, I'd probably get an A. I think it was a really good movie.
I gave it the highest rate. That never happened.
Yeah, that was good. I give it an A. Not that I can think of things that are wrong. I just, who likes to give an A+, so you want to give a little room for something else that would be better? I don't know.
Plus.
So plus.
Die Hard A+.
All right, so that's our review. Hopefully you'll go out and see Soul, or not go out, but stay at home, turn it on your TV on DisneyPlus if you've got it. But we all seem to really like it, so we recommend taking a few minutes out of your day and checking it out with your family.
Few hours
because
out of your
it's
day.
pretty short too. It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so more than a few minutes, but less than a few hours. So hour and a half.
Yeah, closer.
And now it's time for Ryan's.
A little bit less than a lot.
Now it's time for Ryan's bad joke of the day.
Why do Swedish ships have barcodes on them?
Why?
So they can Scandinavian.
Scandinavian. All right. Thanks.
Make
Thanks
sure
for
to smash that like button.
Smash it.
Thanks for
Whack your
watching.
face into
We'll
the
see you next time.
keyboard.
Bye.
I would say if you. She's looking directly at me.
Okay.
Puppy.
I don't know what it is. I kept trying to get
Puppy
it
dog.
off. You just
Puppy
kept
dog's got
dodging
tape on
me.
him. All right. Come here. I got it. Ew, gross.
Just look directly at me with your
Oh, no. Puppy. All right.